Today we will be replacing the screen on an Apple iPhone 4 CDMA. This repair will take about 30 to 40 minutes.
You will be handling fragile parts, so take your time and be gentle. Required tools: a penelope screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a plastic spudger, a plastic opening tool, a pair of tweezers, a metal blade, and a suction cup. If your front or back glass is cracked, keep further breakage contained and prevent bodily harm during your repair by taping the glass using packing tape. Lay overlapping strips of clear packing tape over the iPhone's display until the whole face is covered. Wear safety glasses to protect your eyes from any glass shaken free during your repair, and be sure to wear an anti-static wrist strap to prevent static charges in the device. Before disassembling your iPhone, be sure it is powered off. Remove the two 3.6 pentalobe screws next to the dock connector. Push the rear panel toward the top edge of the iPhone. Remove the rear panel from the iPhone.
Remove the single 1.5mm Phillips screw securing the battery connector to the logic board.
Use a plastic opening tool to gently detach the battery connector from the socket on the device. Insert the edge of a plastic opening tool between the battery and the outer case near the bottom of the iPhone. Now remove the battery. Remove the following screws securing the dock connector cable cover to the logic board. Remove the metal dock connector cable cover. Remove the dock cable up from its socket on the logic board.
Remove the 1.6mm Phillips screw securing the pressure contact to the logic board near the vibrator, and remove the pressure contact.
Use the edge of a plastic opening tool to pry the cellular antenna cable up from its socket on the logic board.
Remove the following 5 screws: 3 1.3mm Phillips screws, 1 1.5mm Phillips screw, and 1 2.4mm Phillips screw.
Remove the EMI shield on the logic board. Remove the rear camera from the iPhone. Be careful not to break any of the small and delicate surface mount components as you disconnect the cables.
Remove the 1.5 millimeter Phillips screw near the headphone jack.
Use the tip of a plastic tool to pry the small rounding clip up off the logic board. Use the edge of a plastic opening tool to disconnect the Wi-Fi antenna from the logic board.
If present, remove the piece of tape covering the Phillips screw near the power button.
Remove the 2.6 millimeter Phillips screw securing the logic board near the power button. Use a small flathead screwdriver to remove the 4.8 millimeter standoff near the headphone jack.
Use a small flathead screwdriver to remove the two 3.6 millimeter standoffs along the side of the logic board nearest the battery opening. Remove the 3.4 millimeter Phillips screw near the vibrator motor.
Carefully lift the logic board from the end closest to the speaker enclosure and slide it away from the top edge of the iPhone. Remove the two 2.4 millimeter Phillips screws from the sides of the speaker enclosure assembly. Now remove the speaker enclosure assembly from the iPhone. Now remove the vibrator. Remove the four 1.5 millimeter Phillips screws, securing the display assembly to the frame of the iPhone. Loosen the three large-headed Phillips screws along the volume button side of the iPhone about 1/2 turn. It is not necessary to completely remove these screws. When reinstalling the display assembly, be sure the washers are closest to the screw head. Use the edge of a plastic opening tool to gently pry up the display assembly around its perimeter. Remove the display assembly from the iPhone.
Use the metal spudger to clean and scrape the old adhesive and any glass off of the device edges.
Make sure to remove the protective cover from your new display assembly. Insert the LCD and digitizer cables from the display assembly panel through the metal frame. Be careful not to bend or break these cables. Run your fingers along the sides, being sure the assembly slips evenly into the frame. Tighten the 3 large-headed Phillips screws along the volume button side of the iPhone, about 1/2 turn. Screws should be tightened until snug. Do not over-tighten the screws. Insert the 4 Phillips screws, securing the display assembly to the frame of the iPhone. Be sure to take your time and make sure screws are lined up correctly before tightening. This will help prevent strapping a screw. Insert the speaker enclosure assembly to the iPhone. Insert the 2 Phillips screws to the sides of the speaker enclosure assembly. Be sure the Wi-Fi grounding fingers are installed below the lip in the iPhone's metal case. Fold into place the digitizer and LCD cables to make room for the logic board. Also hold to the side the volume, power button, and headphone jack flex cables.
Insert the 2 standoffs along the side of the logic board nearest the battery opening. Insert the screw nearest the vibrator motor.
Route the cellular antenna cable under the metal fingers attached to the logic board.
Insert the pressure contact and using a Phillips screw, secure to the logic board.
Attach the docking cable to the logic board. Insert the metal bracket to secure the docking cable. Insert the 2 Phillips screws to secure the metal bracket. Insert the grounding Phillips screw, securing the logic board near the power button. Now attach the rear-facing camera to the logic board.
Insert the standoff screw near the headphone jack.
Connect the Wi-Fi antenna to the logic board. Insert the grounding clip to the logic board near the headphone jack. Now insert the power flex cable, the side key flex cable, and the front facing camera flex cable. Make sure flex cables are properly aligned before snapping back in place, and gently push on connections until they connect. Connect the LCD cable along with the digitizer cable. Insert the EMI shield on the logic board.
Insert the 5 screws to secure the EMI shield onto the logic board.
Now insert the battery to the iPhone.
Insert the screw, securing the battery connector to the logic board.
Attach the rear panel towards the bottom of the iPhone. Be cautious not to damage the plastic clips attached to the rear panel. Insert the two pentalobe screws next to the dock connector.